Oh, hey. Didn't see you there.
Look at that jewelry. We're not Bobby. It's Friday night. What are you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed history.
How about that?
All right, Roadkill Nights is in about a week. We got to finish getting this car ready. If you've seen before, we started mocking up the engine, got that stuff hopefully together for the final time to get that into the car. So we take you further through the journey and where we're at with the AFX and the other nuts, bolts, all the crap that goes with it. USA hats are back in stock, so they were sold out for a while. We did get a big shipment in, so you can go get your USA hat, Sick the Mag USA hat on the website, and let's get right to it.
They only sell 25.
Yep, right there.
Yep, we're in. Where's the
Well,
bolt?
why was that the easiest?
I looked it all up.
I try and avoid it at all costs.
It's going. There you go. All right, so the engine is in, hopefully for the last time. Actually, I won't even say that because that's the goal, so therefore that won't happen. I'm sure it's coming out again. So, and if it doesn't come out again, then I will be pleasantly surprised. So that's how I'll rate that statement. Those tight?
Yep.
Still needs an oil pan, still needs an oil pump adapter. Oh, where's your fancy? Now's the time to show off your fancy piece of work.
The spacer?
Yep.
Are these the right bolts for it?
I have no idea. That was you and that was an EJAJ. That was the J's
You're right.
figured that stuff out. So did you figure it out?
Mhm.
So are those the right bolts?
Mhm.
She has no clue.
Why would they not be?
She's hoping to guess later. But
We'll find out.
okay, tell us. Let's go.
Okay, here is the spacer I made. We figured we needed 5/8 in
Where's
between.
the spacer that came with it?
Here's the original.
So there's the spacer that came with it. So we had this original setup with this transmission and torque converter and stuff was for the first rendition of the Durango Gen 3. So it was designed, they sent us with like a 1/2-inch mid plate. In this application, no mid plate whatsoever. And once again, Dodge people, like Dodge or Mopar people, you can hate me on this, but like literally, I don't understand why the starter bolts to the bell housing instead of to the engine block. Like everything needs to be shimmed and spaced and changed. Like if you just bolt it to the engine block, then it's stationary. It's on the engine. It's always going to be in the same position. Instead, you got to shim it out depending on what you got going on there. So, but that's when AJ with Hemi Tuners was here and sorting out the torque converter and everything with the spacing and shims to mate everything up to the transmission. That's where they came up with a stack of stuff, which was what 5/8 that needed. So EJ, because here's the thing, I saw EJ's little block talk or whatever was going on, and she like put her face into the camera and said, "Hi, friends."
Hi friends, I made a little stupid spacer and I'm really proud of it, but let me show you. Okay, here's the original spacer. We needed a 5/8 spacer. So I picked up some steel today and I made this baby.
I saw it and then I'm like, oh, Bobby must have put her on the mill so that she could have ran that on the mill to get that done. And then I asked Bob about it the next day, because this is when Aiden and I were racing. And I asked Bob about it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. He must not have seen her block talk or whatever. So, but she took it on her own to source the part, right, to source the material, which was 5/8. So it started out 5/8 thick. You just got the material that was 5/8. And you compared this to your stack of washers and everything you guys used to make sure it was the same?
Yep.
So, and then how did you shape it?
I traced that one.
Okay.
And then cut it on the bandsaw roughly.
Okay.
And then just sanded it down.
Okay. How many hours into this?
Probably more than I'd like to admit. But it's really pretty.
But it is pretty and it's perfect.
Yeah, it is
and that's
pretty.
why we want to highlight it, because no one's ever going to see it because it's going to be hidden in there.
It's like the smallest part
So,
of this project. But yeah.
it's going to be hidden in there. But very good. So see, EJ is learning something. So, and all
If
on
there
her
was
own,
any
figured it
doubt.
out. She figured it all out. So, so that's a spacer for the starter to get it the right distance. To I'm gonna guess make up for the mid plate that was gonna be in there. I don't really know. All I know is that hopefully everything lines up now with that big spacer in there. She's got stacks of goofy washers and spacers and other stuff, but like luckily with AJ here going through the stuff with Hemi tuners, like was able to sort all that stuff out to made up the Turbo 400 transmission to the engine. So we're gonna hope that all that works, and now it's all going final assembly to proof of concept. So there you go. So you just got to work on getting all those spacers and those torque converter bolts in there before she worries about tightening that bolt or any of that. So, and then starter, header studs. Bob got you header studs. That's what those things are you were wondering about. Those have to be Loctited in there. So you get those Loctited in, let that set up, and then we should be able to slip the headers on and off, because it'll just make it easier than doing header bolts. So, but that's what we got.
Oh, it's going. Stuff's not long enough, connectors are different, you know, the usual. Nothing works how it should. How's the filming going?
You're only as good as your last video.
Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. Driver side header. Got the studs in there and put a gasket on. That's what I'm up to.
Take it.
We are trying to figure out our floor pan situation, and we decided to go with some street signs. So I picked those up yesterday, and now we're fitting them in the car. He's doing some measurements, and then I'm probably gonna cut it out.
Cut that out. And then we'll see if this one is scrapped. Alright, we just need to notch. If we notch that corner, it'll go to where it needs to, and then we can slide it in place. And like I said, there's already going to be a patch. There'll be a patch right there anyway to cover around. So.
Brian.
I am making a mock-up for our exhaust out of cardboard tube. I had all these pieces in there and then I'm pulling it out, taping it together, gonna put it back in, make sure it all fit, and then we'll take this to the exhaust shop and have them make this, but out of metal, for our exhaust.
Trying to make a floorboard. And Bob's gone, and we usually always ask Bob, how do you do this or how do you do that? And then he shows us. And usually, I'm never the one doing any of this stuff anyway, but trying to get it done. And if the camera's on all the time, Bob would just be laughing his ass off. Like, I've showed those guys so many times how to use that. Because literally, we have a fab shop that has all the tools to do anything you want. I mean, Bob made the Durango out of the tools we have here. And yet, I got a hammer and a piece of wood trying to make a bend, so we're not Bobby. Look at that jewelry. Be cool. Turned this around for us. We sent up one of our Delta Peg 12-inch fans for it, and we went from the other radiator that was on here, which, why do I want to mess up EJ's exhaust? She's been working hard on that today. So we went from this, which has pipe fitting, tube fittings, who knows what it has on it. It was on here with goofy brackets, and there was another bar in here. There was all kinds of stuff to cobble this radiator on there. So we cut the bar out that was here that had some goofy stuff on it, and then we just did the measurements, and I sent Be Cool the measurements from here to here. I needed the bottom hose to clear the steering rack and top hose to do a dual pass radiator. Told them where I wanted the flanges at, gave them the drawing for it. Well, I gave them measurements, they gave me a drawing, and then I approved it. So, but then we end up with a perfect fitting radiator that we will be able to just bolt right on there and we'll be good to go. We actually have Holly sending us an adjustable spout for up here, and we just got to figure out that radiator hose to come from there to there. And this bad boy will be on there in golden. So big improvement over what we had. So thanks, Be Cool. And once again, like, everything custom. I mean, they are able to make whatever you want. You just ask them. And Delta Peg, I mean, the best fan on the market as far as like a low draw fan, high CFM. I mean, that fan, I don't know what the 12-inch draws, but the 16-inch fan draws 10 amps, which most other fans draw 20. So puts the golden opportunity there. Especially because in this revision, we are running this thing without an alternator because we don't have time to mock one up on here backwards. It would normally go here, doesn't fit. We got an alternative bracket that we could put it here, yep, don't fit. So we'll probably end up turning it around backwards and probably mount it over here when we get to that point. But we are full race mode. That's we also got excess power batteries. So excess power is taking care of me forever, but they sent the same setup that I run on everything. Durango's got it. Both my cars have it, which are the Titan 8s, because we run a 14 volt. We run a 14 volt system. So, in all my stuff, because the, whoops, don't matter, but because most electronics don't like anything above 16.5 volts. So we run an alternator set at 16.5, and then we run 14 volt batteries. These Titan 8s, I actually run 2 of them, but I mean, it is a 20 amp hour, a 3000 watt battery. So I drove 2.0, the alternator went out at Sick Pizza, which is about 20-minute drive from here on a good day. It's probably more like half an hour. Alternator went out pulling into the parking lot up there for a car show, and I drove it home at night with the headlights on, with these batteries, pulled it in the shop, and the next morning I was able to start it and drive it onto the hoist. So that tells you how good these batteries are, how long they run. In the AFX, with no alternator, 2 batteries will be in good shape, because I mean, charge it between rounds or whatever's going on, but eventually we'll get an alternator. That's why we're going with the 14 volts now. I'd go to 16 volts if we were never going to run an alternator, but that's what we got. Thanks Excess Power for always taking care of us, but those Titan 8s, I mean, they're the bomb as far as battery, well, and plus weight. I mean, they literally don't weigh anything. I mean, this is maybe 10 pounds? I don't weigh a lot. So. And there's boxes and boxes of shit everywhere, so, but somehow all the boxes and boxes of stuff has to make it into there and into there. So, there you go. It's Friday night. What are you doing?